Regional Head for Western India in 2018, where he manages profit and loss for the region and is responsible for all business units and support functions. Sir is managing a team of 200 plus professionals and ensures business development and new market development along with development for specialized product and industry. I feel privileged to get this opportunity to introduce a speaker of his stature, who is also an alumnus of IMDR. On a final note, sir, we are very grateful for your presence amongst us today. Without any further addition, I would request sir to take over and share his valuable thoughts with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Rishabh. Shruti madam, do you have my presentation to
Yes,
share?
yes,
Or?
sir, it is ready. We are going to share, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, already shared.
Yeah. Now I can see it. Okay. Good morning, everyone. As you already got my introduction, my name is Satyam Magon. I am pass out of 2001 2003 batch of IMDR, and it is my privilege to be back to IMDR, sharing certain experience and trying to support people at IMDR or students at IMDR to shape up and build up the career. Uh, I don't know how things have moved in last 2 decades, but when we were students in IMDR, we were not very sure in which direction we need to go once we pass out. What I'm trying to say is everybody in our batch knew that we need to pass out our final semester and we need to get a job. But get a job in which industry, which company, what we actually wanted to do. I mean, we did not had that kind of clarity 2 decades back. With digitalization, with globalization, and things moving in a fast pace, I have realized and we can smell and sense that people plan their career very well in advance and not like our generation 2 decades back, wherein they get into a particular industry by chance. So to me, logistics happened to me by chance because in 2003, not many companies visited IMDR, or some companies visited. I was not selected. So eventually Kuehne Nagel visited the campus. I was selected. And since then, I started liking the industry, the organization, and whatever I was doing. And that was the reason why I got stuck to this particular company as well as industry. However, if you all plan your career, what you actually want to do in life, that will definitely help you achieve your goals in future. Everybody has joined the institute, or most of you must have joined the institute to enhance your knowledge, skill sets, as well as to build up your career. I don't know. I don't want to get into a poll, but I am sure more than 50% of the students may not be knowing in which direction they have to go, whether they have to join a banking sector, insurance sector, manufacturing sector, service sector, or for that matter, logistics sector. I'll take today's time just to give you a brief about our industry, what it is all about, how we are growing, what are the things you need to do, what kind of opportunities you get, so that since it is just the beginning of your 2 years program, you can think about this particular industry, match your skill sets, see if you are inclined towards it. This can also be a very good industry to make your career into. Of course, this is not the only industry, but it is not a very glamorous industry. So most of the people are not aware of what happens in logistics industry, what is required, how fresh pass out MBA can contribute, and what are the opportunities. So it is basically for you all. I am not going to give any marketing or economic lessons. For that, you are at one of the premium institute in Pune that will be taken care by IMDR. But I would definitely like to talk about industry as such, which I represent, so that you can explore in case you intend to join the logistics industry. So let's move to the next slide, ma'am, with the agenda. Okay. I would be covering these specific topics. In case you have any particular questions, please raise your hand, unmute yourself, stop me then and there. If not, then probably we will have a round of questions after the presentation. I've kept the presentation quite very simple and short so that we can discuss more as a session which is constructive for both and give you an opportunity to clarify various doubts. So I'll be covering this particular agenda with a small definition what supply chain means, how the supply chain industry is looking forward, export import process, a general overview, who all are the stakeholders in supply chain, opportunities to make career with different stakeholders, what kind of positions you get, what kind of career enhancement you get, what kind of competency or skill sets are required to get into this particular industry and get an opportunity to make your career. So it is quite very simple, not a very complicated presentation. And I'm sure I'll be able to convey the things and we would have more interactions in question answer sessions. So, ma'am, can we go to the next slide of the definition of a supply chain? So supply chain management is a flow of goods from one place to another. When I say flow of goods from one place to another, it starts from the raw material production, be it farms, be it anything, farms in case of agricultural production. So it takes supply chain is all the management from procuring the seeds and getting the fruit supplied to the nearest mall or vegetable shop. Everything from procurement to dispatch is supply chain gamut. I'm not reading out the definition what I have written. I try to explain in layman's language. So taking the flow chart, what is there on the screen from raw material, it is inbound logistics to a particular godown warehouse. Then it gets processed, manufactured, goes out to different warehouses, and from warehouses the outbound logistics to consumer to malls or wherever you intend to buy it. And similarly, in case there is a defect in that particular product, you at times return those products. Taking an example of a mobile phone, you buy a mobile phone, but you find mobile phone is not working, it is into warranty and you want to replace it. So that is then you collect the mobile phones from the customer's place and bring it back to the factory to repair it or address the issues. So everything is in totality called supply chain. Ma'am, let's move to the next one. Talking about the supply chain industry, I've taken certain numbers here to represent. Supply chain industry worldwide is growing with a CAGR of 6.5% in next 1 decade. At this point of time, it is $7,600 billion industry, and it is projected to reach by end of this decade to approximately $13,000 billion industry. Of course, it can be bifurcated with respect to the mode of transport. It may be railway, roads, airways, waterways, and on the basis of industry into healthcare, manufacturing, aerospace, telecommunication, etc., etc., and region-wise between the various different continents. So this is the size of the industry, what is being represented. Uh, I want you to either unmute yourself or use the chat box function. If anybody can give, say, 3 industries which are considered as essential industries and were permissible during the strictest lockdown. Anyone using chat function or unmute yourself, please speak out, students. Strict lockdown during last year. Give me the name of 3 industries which were considered as
Sir,
essential.
FMCG, logistic and pharma.
FMCG, logistics and pharma, you are quite very correct, but FMCG, it was not FMCG, but it was more of food related thing. FMCG is
Yes, sir.
also considered as refrigerators and televisions and garments, etc. But those were not considered as essential services. Anyone else?
And manufacturing.
Ramesh, please unmute yourself.
Sorry, somebody said manufacturing, or I didn't hear exactly.
Logistics, pharma, and manufacturing.
Okay, manufacturing is a very big gamut. It is not an industry as such. In manufacturing, you have cars, you have aeroplanes, so everything comes into manufacturing. Anyway, I just wanted to have certain insight that at least you are aware of. It is, of course, pharmaceutical and healthcare. Second was the food. Third was the telecom. And, of course, logistics. Why I wanted to highlight this particular point at this point of time, there was a very adverse effect on most of the industries. You might have seen or you might have heard there was a dot-com boom somewhere in 90s. After a certain while, there was totally blackout of dot-com companies. Similarly, there are certain then there was a rise in the BPOs in India at one point of time, somewhere early 2000 probably. But after that point, things started settling down. So there are highs and lows of every industry. At the same time, certain industry shrinks over a period of time. Like today, nobody gets into buying the books as the technology has replaced the physical books to a certain extent, not to 100% extent, but a certain share has been taken by a digitalized platform and people prefer to read it or hear the books instead of buying, turning the pages and reading it by themselves. So fortunately, logistics industry has evolved over a period of time, and trust me, till the time there is life on this planet, logistics industry will only flourish. It was logistics which was managed in both the world wars. Moving the tankers from place A to place B was nothing but logistics or supply chain. From that time to having your Amazon deliveries at your doorstep today, everything is logistics. Today, Amazon, we all know, and I am 100% sure 99% or more people in this forum would be having an Amazon account and would have done at least one purchase on Amazon. Amazon does not own Apple iPhone. Amazon does not own Sony TV. For that matter, Amazon does not own any product what they are selling. They have just provided a platform and logistics support, bringing things to your doorstep. Otherwise, we all would have gone to Phoenix Market City to buy our product. And Amazon found the other way around. Instead of going to the market, let's bring market to the doorstep of the people. And they were successful because they have a very, very strong logistics arm and support and design. So just a food for thought. Ma'am, let's go to the next one, please. Yeah. So there are certain new technologies which are coming, which are under the progress and in the stage of getting matured. Digital platforms we are all are aware of. 2 years back, if somebody would have asked anyone that okay, we would be conducting only webinars and we would be imparting teaching from IMDR only on digital platforms, people would not have accepted it because we were used to work in a specific normal at till a certain point of time. When life challenged, we evolved and we challenged ourselves, we challenged the status quo and we evolved and we use the digital platforms. So the digital platforms will have an impact to the tune of 1.2 or $2 trillion over the industry in next one odd decade. Logistics technologies will also have an impact from 6 to 10%. Similarly, talking about additive manufacturing, that means if you must have seen, the production is being done at the place of consumption. Some of you, if you know even the basics of economics, then there is a production being done at XYZ place and consumption of those production is at ABCD place. In other words, Apple phone 2 decades ago were being manufactured, mostly were being manufactured outside India. But now they are also being manufactured in India. For that matters, 50 years back, the cars were manufactured outside India. But over a period of time, all the multinationals from Hyundai to Kia to Volkswagen have put their plant in India because they want to have the production at the place near to consumption. So that will also have an impact to the tune of approximately 700 or 800 billion dollars. Advanced robotics, a new technology, will again have impact on the entire trade to the tune of 3 odd trillion dollars. Artificial intelligence, talk of the town at this point of time, and has a very big scope in various industries and also in logistics, because this also predicts your way of buying. That also would have an impact to the tune of roughly 9 to 10 odd percent. Changing goods, renewable energies, electricity, electric vehicles, etc. will also have those impact in the trade in next decade or 1.5 decade. So all this impact is expected to be by 2030. I'm sure by that time you all would be having a rich experience of 5 to 8 years, which will help you to further fly from there, wherein you will have a very sound foundation through IMDR academics and 5 to 7 years of experience in that trade by that time. And when the entire industry is evolving, you would get multiple opportunities what the industry have to offer. Let's go to the next slide, ma'am. Okay, I have tried to keep it quite very simple, graphical representation, so that all of you can understand. International logistics solution model. We have three different factories, factory A, B, and C. All three factories from different part of the country brings goods to the origin hub, wherein you consolidate all the materials, pack it, and make it ready for dispatch. From there you dispatch it to the port, do the custom formalities, and ship it out through a vessel to the next country in terms of export. Once it is, say, exported out of India, it reaches the destination port. Let's take New York, and from there it goes to a retail DC, and from retail DC it goes to retail store 1, retail store 2, or direct to store, as the case may be, from directly from port reaching the third or the fourth store, and from there people try to buy it. So this is a very simplified flowchart for an international logistics solution model, just to give you a glimpse how broadly export or import logistics work. As I have been saying, this is the most easiest solution what it looks like, and at this point of time you don't need to go into detail, but have a basic idea, not a thorough idea how the things move. So that is the reason why I have kept it quite very simple. And to manage the things, you have the visibility solutions or global WMS solutions. The way you get when you order the things from Swiggy, or for that matter Amazon, you are being informed how your shipment or the food delivery is moving from the origin till the end. So that is called a WMS solution, or the visibility system, what I am referring to. Ma'am, let's move to the next slide. Talking about based on the, I think you need to click again. Yeah, click again. We will have all the four. Okay. Basically, the stakeholders in supply chain, again, I am repeatedly saying I have highlighted quite very basics, knowing that you have just entered into the professional management course. I'm not bombarding with complex things. So it is quite very basic. You have the stakeholders in the entire supply chain. I'm talking international supply chain, a carrier. A carrier can be a road carrier, an airline, because airline is also carrying goods for exports, a shipping line carrying containers for exports, a 3PL company or the forwarders like Kuehne Nagel, custom house agent as who would be doing the port formalities, and of course a warehouse wherein you can store the goods and distribute it at the convenience of the customers over a period of time. So these are broadly basic four stakeholders involved in supply chain. So from here, this was an idea what a supply chain industry looks like broadly, not a detailed version. And from here, we will now have the second part of the presentation, which is more about you. When I talk more about you, that will give you an idea what all opportunities you can get into this industry and what are the competencies and skill sets required so that you can spend time sharpening those skill sets in next 1.5 to 2 years in IMDR and be prepared in case this industry excites you. So uh, like any other industry, we have the opportunities in the field of management, in the field of analysis, product planning, procurement, distribution, and managing the profitability. Talking about the specific roles, the specific role may be demand planning or analysis, a procurement manager who procures the freights from the different carriers, be it airlines, be it shipping lines, be it road carriers, distribution centers. You have large warehouse, you would get different job. You don't have to load any goods into the truck, but you need to manage that. You need to manage that. There are laborers who would support you with forklift and handling equipment, who would load it on your behalf, who would unload it on your behalf. But there would be someone who needs to manage it on their behalf. So who all could that be? Uh, you may be one of them to manage those things. So, ma'am, just go to the previous slide, please. Yeah, yeah, thank you. So you can be a supply chain consultant, a project manager, a global logistics manager, transportation director, supply chain sales, warehousing managers, etc., etc., etc. So this is again a brief what kind of roles you can get into the industry. All these roles may not be available to you immediately when you pass it out, but of course, over a period of time when you graduate, when you gain certain experience, and then you can get into these positions. Talking in detail, let's go to the next slide, ma'am. Now talking about opportunities to make career with different stakeholders. As I said, carriers, the prime carriers for an international logistics are airlines and shipping lines. We have many alumni from IMDR working for most of the shipping line throughout the world. I'm not sure about you all, but I guess some of you, if not all 70-80 students, but some of you might have certain aspirations to go out of India and work abroad. Logistics is again one of the industry which gives fuel to your wings, and you can fly and work abroad. Many of my batchmates are working abroad, and probably half of my entire batch is working abroad in logistics industry itself. So if you join, probably again, don't quote me, I know the session is getting recorded, any insurance company in India, or for that matter any banking company in India, from ICICI to HDFC to Bajaj Allianz, chances to go and work abroad would be comparatively bleak as compared to working in a logistics industry. Of course, that does not give you a passport that you are working in logistics industry, so you will definitely go abroad and work abroad, but of course it will increase your chances. So within the carriers, you can get into a trade lane development, equipment and space planning, customer service, finance, accounting, HR, business development, data engineer, etc. 3PL companies like Kuehne Nagel, wherein you can get into the contract logistics, which involve warehousing and distribution, insurance, trade lane development, supply chain management, customer service, finance and controlling, human resource, of course, sales and business development. There is also a concept of 4PL, which is fourth party logistics. I don't want to get into much detail. They are more of a consultant like Ernst & Young, KPMG, Accenture. These are 4PL companies when it comes to supply chain. Some of our alumni are also working in companies like Accenture, KPMG, Ernst & Young. So that is another section within the logistics arena wherein you can explore, and it is not very difficult to switch from a carrier to 3PL, from a 3PL to 4PL, or from a 4PL to 3PL. So your industry is quite very wide open. It is not that if you are starting your career in a 3PL organization, you need to end in a 3PL organization. These are the prime stakeholders. I have not mentioned companies like Amazon, companies like Swiggy, companies like Zomato. I don't know if you all follow the business news. Zomato has launched its IPO and was oversubscribed many a times and have opened on the very first day, almost touching double of the IPO price. Zomato does nothing. They don't own a single hotel or restaurant in the world. They just manage logistics. Don't get in your mind that, okay, if I'm joining companies like Zomato or Amazon, I will have to do the delivery at the doorstep. There are a separate set of people who manage those deliveries, but there would be a different set of people who would be managing those people who would be arranging the deliveries on the road. So you can also think from those angles that would also give you an opportunity to make your career. Let's move to the next slide, ma'am. Again, I have further bifurcated into integrated logistics, operation management, distribution, transportation, custom and compliance, risk management, relationship management, and then leadership. So over a period of time, I have spent my time almost in all these 7 stages. Yeah, and now I am into the leadership role today, managing the Western India P&L for the organization, wherein we take certain business decisions on behalf of the organization. So I am not reading it out. Each one of you can read it by yourself. These would be some of the categories in which you can start your career and then try to shape up over a period of time. And I have also written some specific roles what you can get during the start or with enhancement of your career in this particular industry. It is not a very glamorous industry like media and probably other retail industries. We do the things very backhand, but what I'm trying to say is we strengthen the economy. At the end of the day, it is logistics and supply chain management for any organization from Hindustan Lever to Apple to Amazon to everything. It depends on how supply chain of that particular company is being managed. And you need people, you need thorough professional to manage those supply chains. Talking about the competency or the skill sets, what is required? A supply chain background or a operations background. When I am reading out these skill sets or competency, this is not a hard fast rule. It is a kind of preference what you get over other candidates if you have some of the background. I did not had a supply chain background. I did a PGDIT course from IMDR, which was a specialization in international trade. Probably that helped me to get into this particular industry, but that is not the prerequisite. We are one of the regular recruiters from the institutes, and we take general management candidates as well. And we are not the only organization which is visiting IMDR or for that matter recruiting from the colleges. So even the general management or the marketing or the HR background people are also being hired in the industry as fresher. So quickly going through the competency and the skill set: supply chain background, strong numerical and analytical skills, interpersonal skills, very important as we are part of the service industry. Extensive industry knowledge over a period of time, of course, something related to artificial intelligence if you have, because that is how we are transforming or evolving, and some knowledge about warehouse management system. Uh, even I had no knowledge about warehouse management system when I joined the industry, and I enhanced my competency or the skill set over a period of time. So some of it is good to have and some of it is must have. So just try to sharpen it, what you already have, and try to explore if you can have some idea about other skill sets or the competency in case you plan to get into this industry. Let's go to the next one, ma'am. So a detailed skill set requirement: adaptability. You need to be quite very flexible, working in different geographies, working in different environment, from lockdown mode. Even I am working from home at this point of time and giving lectures, but managing the things in the entire western part of India. So you need to be agile, adaptable, flexible. Of course, honesty requirement for any and every industry. Project management, macroeconomics, proficiency in project management, uh, ability to understand financial statements. You should be getting into these 2 years or 1.5, 18, 20 months, whatever are left in your program, with basic accounting, from reading a balance sheet to reading a profit and loss statement. That is very important.
Yes.
So we are not expecting an expert, but you should be having basic knowledge how to interpret a financial statement.
Rohit, sorry to disturb you, sir. Rohit, please mute your mic. Yes, sir, you may continue. Sorry.
Okay. You need to handle a lot of pressure. So how you are organized and staying calm, cost accounting, the financial accounting, as I said, you should also have a basic idea of cost accounting. And I'm sure most of these things are already covered by IMDR during this 2 years program. But you need to pay attention in your classes to adapt these skill sets and enhance your skill sets, your problem solving skills. I'm sure most of you must have given the competitive exam while getting into IMDR, and it calls for a certain level of aptitude test. So I'm sure most of you, all probably all of you, have those problem solving skills. You need to probably sharpen it more. Great business communication skills, both oral and written, a pleasing personality. You should be knowing how to give a business presentation. One of the feedback to IMDR faculties, we have been hiring candidates from IMDR, but at times, not all, some of the batches at some of the places, their presentation skills are not up to date as compared to what is expected from them to get into a business presentation. I am sure in next 2 years you would be giving several presentation in IMDR, preparing various PPT, but giving a presentation in an institute for your academics and giving a presentation in your business life is quite a different ball game altogether. And you should be aware of those certain do's and don'ts. Uh, Understanding of e-procurement and e-business system, understanding of global issues. What is happening in China is very important for us to know today. What is happening in US, it is very important for us to know today, because some of our clients intend to import certain things from China or export certain things to US. And we as a logistics service provider or consultant to them, we should be aware what is happening around the world. So at one point of time, we had international economics as one of the subject and international relations. So even if you don't have a formal subject, reading newspaper and reading news, following what is happening around the world is fair enough. At least you are aware of what is happening in the world. I think this is the last slide of mine, ma'am. Just yeah. So that's it from my side. I think we have run short of some time. I intended to complete it by 10:40. Any questions from anyone?
Students, I request you all to please raise your hands and ask your questions. Yes, Shreya, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Shreya.
Yeah, sir, first of all, it was a great webinar, sir. I loved your webinar. And I just have one question, sir. I am basically from a technical background. I'm an engineer. So do we have any upper hand in this sector or not? I just wanted to know, sir.
Of course, engineers would have an upper hand, although talking about basic logistics or the 3PL, you may not have those upper hand, but getting into supply chain or logistics in a manufacturing company like, I'm just giving an example, Thermax. Thermax is an engineering giant in Pune, or for that matter, any specific automobile company from Bajaj Auto to Volkswagen to Ford to Tata's, all have their hubs in Pune. So all those categories of companies would give preference to engineers. But when you talk about logistics companies or 3PL companies like us, we don't require specifically an engineer. We see it as a kind of threat because we feel an engineer would be probably overqualified, and once they join our industry or organization, they will switch over very quickly in next 1 or 2 years.
Okay, sir.
So we consider engineers in 3PL a bit overqualified. However, manufacturing companies give those kind of preferences.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Karthik, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Karthik.
Sir, it was a very interesting presentation.
Okay.
Sir, I had a question that can you share your experience as a fresher in your initial days in the industry and with which role you started?
Okay. Mm, as I said, I did not plan my career in logistics. It happened to me by chance because Kuehne Nagel came to the campus at that point of time. Some of my friends were already placed. I had some peer pressure, so I applied to Kuehne Nagel as well, and I was selected for a management trainee program, which is 1 year program. At that point of time, we had 1 year program into all the departments of the organization. we were supposed to spend 4 to 6 weeks in each department, which gave me the flair of the entire organization, how the entire organization works, and what are the various phenomena involved in specific department. And from there, I started to be in sales, and I started my career in sales, and over a period of time have grown to different positions within the same organization at different places though.
Yes, sir. Sir, and I have heard that it is a very high pressure job. Is it true?
Of course it is.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Gopal, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you, Ankita. Sir, Gopal Kalurkar this side. Your session was really insightful. My question is that the how business analytics role in the supply chain management means how it works.
Uh,
Nowadays, artificial intelligence and machine learning, these kind of techniques used in huge in supply chain management. So
Correct.
how the supply chain management affects from this thing?
Correct. I showed you a logistics model, a basic logistics model from three different factories, shipment coming to a hub and then getting to a port and then shipping out, etc. So data analytics, first and foremost, logistics industry is not very digitalized at this point of time. The entire industry is evolving, and all companies all companies are coming up with new digital platforms or digitalized products very at a very fast pace. So in order to come up with those digital platforms or products, at the backhand there is a team who works on data analytics as well as artificial intelligence in terms of what is the buying pattern of the customer, what is required. So a detailed, thorough analysis done by that section of people will come up with a design what is required in future. So data analytics team would be doing those analysis behind the scene and develop a particular product. And once the product is developed with the help of IT specialists, we launch those products, and then sales and marketing team sells it, and then operations team delivers it. And as I said, we are evolving every single day. The entire industry is evolving every single day. Every company is coming with a new product every day, almost every day. If you follow certain publications, you will see some or the other companies are launching new products. So launching new product, the research and development is done by the data analytics team, and this is one section. And when you get into a complex supply chain, then you need an expert to analyze those data and come up with solution of supply chain model, wherein data analytics people are utilized.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Darshan, please ask your question.
Good morning, everyone. It was a wonderful session where we have where we have got a basic knowledge about how the supply chain works and how it is managed. So there is one question, like, how do you motivate yourself, sir, in such a stressful environment, because each and every day the technology changes, the product changes, so it might be a stressful day. Like, so how do you manage, or what motivates you to keep working in this sector?
Uh, Well, for some of the people, it might be bit different. For me, it is every day when I open my laptop at 8:30 in the morning. I'm not aware of how my day would be because some or the other problems pops up at my desk at this senior level. Uh, I am involved throughout the day with different type of escalations as well as business decisions, which keep you very much occupied and challenges you every single day. There is nothing called a repetitive day in my present career life. Every day is different, and this challenge keeps me motivated to give my best every day. And to manage the stress, it is a simple fundamental. You need to spend some time on your health, on your hobbies. So you do your basic workouts, detach yourself for a time period instead of since we all are working from home, available at home at 24/7. That does not mean that you need to work 24/7. Once your work is done, irrespective of the time, at times I spend 14 to 16 hours also, but I really enjoy it as every day is different. Every day is different, every day is challenging, and that keeps me motivated because it is challenging me to deliver everything new and enhanced in enhanced way.
Thank you so much, sir.
So we see no more questions. So we'll move towards now vote of thanks. It's my immense pleasure to present a vote of thanks. I, Ankita Yadav, on behalf of Tech and Education Society's IMDR, would like to thank you, sir, for giving us time and inspiring us on the topic of career in logistic industry. Sir, your thoughts and experience have really inspired us. As you mentioned in your talk, the process of logistic with wonderful example of a seed to plant, the growth of logistics sector up to $12,975, the upcoming demand of the sector, the technology gaining more potential for trading. You also gave us an idea about how the logistic process works throughout the boundaries. You also helped us with the process of supply chain and also the wonderful career opportunities in the field with the job roles. This piece of information is really helpful for us in our future and all. Thank you so much, sir. I would also like to thank our director, faculty, non-teaching staff for continuous encouraging and supporting us for such corporate connect. I thank the entire student team, organizing team, technical support, and last but not the least, I also thank my student colleague, without whom the session would have been possible successfully. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankita.
Thanks a lot, Satyam. A pleasure to have you and look forward to many more such interactions.
Anytime, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
Pleasure.
you. Thanks for
Yeah.
your support. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best,
Thank you so much,
everybody.
sir.
Stay safe. Thank you. Bye bye.